Folks, and welcome to Andrew Chopper's Audio Addiction once more. Today we're reviewing the Twistura Beta Flagship, an IEM that screams, what if we made a dynamic driver out of glass and then gave you 3 nozzles and 3 sets of tips so you can all fight about the tuning in the comments. Given the generous nature here, I thought it might be nice to quickly run through tips and nozzles and how they change the sound, because I've only recently had this journey beaten into my thick aural nut, and it's genuinely changed my IEM perspective in its entirety. I'll explain why. The Beta Flagship is a single dynamic driver with, as mentioned, an 11mm planar glass composite diaphragm, dual magnetic and dual cavity structure, a CNC aluminium shell, and a replaceable nozzle tuning system with standard vocal and instrumental nozzles. It's an impedance of 24 ohms and a sensitivity of 124 decibel volts per volts RMS, which is around about the 108 milliwatts. Comes with an OFC cable with interchangeable 3.5 and 4.4 mil terminations. I love a modular cable, and it's a really nice looking thick braided cable as well. The bad boys themselves, for me, the build is premium. The feel is quality, and they look like they arrived from Alpha Planet X4J7Q. They seem like they could take off at any second. Very sci-fi, very cool. There's also 3 boxes of 3 sized tips. Oh my tip lord. And yes, they're called Flagship at $119, which is basically audiophile speak for, oh, I can't even buy one gold-plated hexagonal amplifier isolation foot for that. Bernie, did you step on my banana plug? So on paper, this set looks like it can play the hurdy-gurdy blindfolded and get the stains out of no, don't worry about that. Onto the nozzles. There's standard vocal and instrumental, as I said. This is not a new concept, but it is a very clever one, and it's very rare on the cheaper models, so well done, Twistura. The nozzles change the sound by changing the acoustic impedance at the exit of the IEM. In layperson's terms, they change how easily air moves, which changes how much energy you can get in the upper mids and treble, and sometimes perceived bass. Think of the nozzle like the IEM's mouth. A wide open mouth equals more air and bite, and a smaller mouth equals more control and less spice. And the Beta gives you 3 mouths. That's wonderful, but maybe it's a little bit creepy. Here's the part most people ignore, then complain the IEM is too bright. I've experienced this firsthand on numerous occasions recently, and I'm an absolute tip rolling advocate now. I almost gave up on a review recently because I couldn't get the bass that was supposed to be, those were supposed to be bass Canon IEMs, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get seal. It didn't feel good. And I was going through tip after tip after tip. I kept going, and someone told me to try something different, which I did. And it was like a light bulb went off. So that's why I'm here today explaining this. The 4 big tip variables, and I'll be quick. The seal quality, better seal equals more bass and stability. Less can create more treble because our brains turn the volume up. Bore size, wide bore tips have usually more treble air, larger stage and slightly less bass weight. Narrow bore tips can have more mid-bass warmth, smoother treble, and a vocal sort of feel closer to you. Insertion depth, deeper insertion often increases perceived upper mid energy and pinna gain sensitivity, which is around the 2 to 5 kilohertz. Shallower insertion often feels warmer, but can reduce clarity. Material is soft silicon is usually a balanced best baseline. Stiffer silicon can give more treble presence. Sometimes it can be sharper. Foam can often smooth out the treble with stronger bass, but it can reduce air and detail. Tips are basically EQ, except instead of turning a knob, you're shoving different little hats into your ear canals like a very kinky Milner. Use the standard nozzle to learn the bass tuning before you start modding. And if you want more clarity in stage, a wide bore silicon tip is the way to go. The vocal nozzle is designed to push vocal presence. obviously. It typically increases perceived upper mid-range and can make vocals feel closer and more forward. If vocals get too intense, use a narrow bore or a foam one. If vocals feel perfect and you want more air, use a wide bore, but just watch the treble. The instrumental nozzle is often perceived as a cleaner, more spacious presentation. If it gets too lean, use a narrow bore silicon. And if you want maximum detail and space, a wide bore silicon tip is the go. Just experiment for the best sound to suit your ears and don't give up like I almost did. After a lot of experimenting for this review, I settled on the standard silver nozzle with the wide bore grey and blue tips. Now to sound. Bass on the Beta Flagships is quite tight and controlled. On Valhalla Calling by Miracle of Sound, it's actually quite a warm presentation. The betas go deep as the song commands, and there's a richness to the lower end. There's no bleed or bloat. On Let the Bass Kick by Marie Vaunt, these things do punch and kick and carry on like Uncle Ronaldo when he's being dragged out of the pub at closing time. There's a real excitement to the bass. But on milder tracks, the bass stays in its swim lane. They aren't bass cannons, but they go where the track takes them. The mids, this set can lean towards presence energy, especially with vocal nozzle. If you're a treble pinagain sensitive person, this is where you'll notice it. Use the standard nozzle, which I did. Female vocals have a strong presence. Ava Max on Kill It Queen sounds forward and full, but maybe just a tad digital. Mr. Roll, Jelly, on Thorns sounded fuller and more analog. And the Ava Max, admittedly, is a dance pop electronic song, so maybe it was mixed that way. Mr. Roll is right at my nose, but not in a bad way. There's some depth and note weight to his voice. It's quite nice. On Hot Dog by Led Zeppelin, Mr. Plant again is singing right near me, but there's no honk or shout. He sounds real and natural. Mr. Page's guitar is out wide and sounds clean and resolving. There's no upper mids crispness. Treble on the wide bore tips and standard nozzle is resolving, detailed and punchy. I don't find it harsh and on most tracks. I do prefer it to the other combinations I tried. I feel on some of them the crispness will be too much for me and not to my preference. On Rebellion, I feel the bass is solid, mids and are well placed and sound natural, and there's a great level of detail and clarity. On Metallica's One, the cymbals and vocals can get a tad crunchy. It's borderline for me. Metallica's One can polarize with some headgear. Lars's cymbal hits, certainly near the start, can be a little bit crisp and spicy, and they were a little on the Beta Flagships. Tuning, I would guess, is definitely not neutral, but it's not boring or lifeless. I'd say there's some coloration through most of the frequencies. These guys seem to be tuned for fun, particularly in the mids and treble, but bass isn't lacking by any means. Staging and imaging are decent, but not class leading. Left to right is okay. And on Metallica's One, it sort of comes out just at the ears, but it's not as good as others I've reviewed recently. And it's more lateral than holographic or 3D. It doesn't really go around behind me and much. It sort of just goes left to right. Placement within the staging is again decent, but not earth-shattering. There's a little congestion on the busier tracks, and especially on Metallica's One near the end of the song where there's an aural cacophony. I can't do a quick comparison, sorry folks, because I wanted to compare them to the Fozzy IM4 open backs. They have also 10mm, well, they have dynamic drivers, 10mm instead of 11, but they're on loan with other IEM fans out there. There's quite a nice gear sharing community within Australia, which is lovely. It's very welcoming and inclusive, so they're on loan to other people. The IM4s also offer multi-tips and 2 tuning nozzles, so it would have been a great IEM off. Maybe I can revisit and add to this video at some stage. The verdict on the Twistura Beta Flagships is one of the more interesting single dynamic IEMs in this price range, because it's not just selling you sound, it's actually selling you control. The nozzle and tip system actually lets you shape the sound in ways people can clearly discern and change to their sonic preferences. If you want a pair you can set and forget, this will likely be too much fudging around for you. $119, this is real value. The accessories and boxing alone are excellent quality. The IEMs give you a complete sonic playground where you're not going to break your arms or legs falling off the monkey bars or get burn friction sliding down the huge steel slide. I'd like to thank Twistura for sending these out for review, and to all of you who are still sticking with me and new people as well. I've smashed the 100 subscribers mark. So it's a huge party at my house, folks. If you could just bring a present and maybe some grog and a couple of plates of food would help too. This is awkward. Anyway, thanks, folks. Bye.